everyone, and happy Thursday. Welcome to your daily lighting critique. We have just a couple of submissions today, just 3. And we're going to start first with Matt. So this was Matt's update. You can see V1 here at the bottom, V2 at the top, and the reference right here in the middle, which is a nice little setup for looking at this stuff. So the main updates were reconfiguring the look of the lamps, getting the cooler color on the character a little bit. In the original in V1, it was a little bit green, and just getting that to match up a little bit more. I think that we are pretty much all there. At this point, it would just be a matter of some very minor tweaks. Like I think the light back behind the main character is a little bit brighter here than in the reference. Like the difference between how bright she is and the background is a little bit more, so she's able to pop forward just a touch more. But honestly, this first assignment is all about like establishing a lighting, just like a lighting design, being able to manipulate your lights based on notes, being able to post, being able to understand that, and being able to really read reference, understand what's happening visually, and replicate that. So you definitely demonstrated those abilities in this one. So I would say you're good to move on to the next iteration. I think that, you've definitely done that. So I would say for this, I think we should go ahead and clap, unless you guys have any other thoughts. I'll wait my 3 seconds. Unmute and clap. All right, very good, Matt. Nice first assignment. Woo. Or second challenge. Very good. All right, and now we will hop over into Kat's submissions. So I wanted to start with Kat's latest on your Unreal project, and we were just talking about this offline. But Kat, let us know. Let's talk about where we are with this project, and I guess where we are not. So
where we are is going. Okay, I'm good.
Yeah, exactly. That's
my first
it's a great
project at Unreal, and I'm okay.
Yeah. So we were talking about this, and she was coming into some problems with these metahumans. And just like it would require a lot of animation, a lot of work, and a lot of like time. Basically, it's a big time commitment that she doesn't want to commit at this point. Kat has other projects going on. We'll see another one here in just a minute. And it's all like.
And I'm not an animator.
Right, and like these metahumans require either a lot of time to make them look real, because like right now, this movement at the end of her just like putting her hand on his chest, kind of. Is while he stares unemotionally up at the ceiling and possibly deceased, and like it's like unless you have the time to really work with these characters, it's not going to. They look good on turntables, but the second you start putting them in the scenes and you get that uncanny valley look of a character, it starts like you really need to kind of work that in.
Yeah, so, you need to They do, to be fair, like they come pre-rigged and they actually have an easy setup to move them and animate them. Mm-hmm. But animating itself is such a completely different skill set that I don't have, that like I would just mangle it. And then the facial control rig is really cool too. Like I was wanting to play with that, and I might when I use them for stills, because then I have time. It doesn't have to look animated. I can make it look the way I want and then take a picture of it. Yeah. But I mean, it's really cool what they can do. It's just if you don't have that skill set, it's just you're way out of out of your comfort zone.
No, and to take a step back from it, from a larger picture, with all of you that are working on projects, and these are, you're not doing this for a client. You're not doing these for a job. You don't have to complete them. And sometimes the most powerful thing in the world that you can do is say, okay, I'm good on this, and you just walk away from something. Jasmine and I have a term that we took from a book or a podcast. I forget what it was. It's basically just fail fast. I think it might be a Malcolm Gladwell thing. It's like just fail fast. Like if you're the super skill that you can have is recognizing when something isn't working and stop doing that. So it'll be like if Jasmine and I are working on something. And like, let's say, I'm trying to think of an example. Let's say I'm designing some material that'll be used in some marketing for the Academy of Animated Art, and I show it to Jasmine. Sometimes it's like, okay, this is good, but let's change this, and this. Sometimes it's like, you know what, this just isn't working. Let's fail fast and try something else. And you stop doing that and you try something else.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy with how like the overall the room and
Yeah.
everything looked for, not having ever done that stuff in Unreal before.
Yeah.
It's just I had thought that the metahumans came with some preset animations you could use, and they don't because their game characters do.
Yeah.
They have a whole slew of animations that are preset, but the metahumans don't. And I'm like, oh crap. And then I was having, like I said, I had problems with the hair shaders and stuff. But I mean, it was a fun first project. Now I'm gonna do something else.
It's not that it's unsuccessful, because it just has,
Yeah.
like, it's just because you don't have a portfolio piece in the end doesn't make a project unsuccessful. Sometimes
Right.
it's just like, I wanted to learn this thing, I wanted to try this thing, and sometimes it doesn't work. Like sometimes or it works to a level and you need to go back and do it again and do it again. Like that's just kind of the natural flow of things. So
Yeah.
I want to commend you on, and honestly, the best thing that you and everyone here has been doing it, and that is really diving headfirst into stuff that you don't know much about, and just getting in there and doing it, because it's like you have to go through these projects and then you'll get the hang of it a little more and more. Okay, so let's hop over into your other project here. Talk to me about what's updated here.
I realized I forgot to do the one note that you said, which was to make the light a bit stronger on Desmondus, but I went ahead and made the little charcoals in the pots have more brighter emission and pulled back on the light value of the lights that are actually in there. I don't know if you want them brighter or not.
Wait, where at? I'm sorry.
I moved the grasses around like Aaron was saying. I went ahead and messed around with it a little bit and kind of resculpted some of the ground that met the walls so it looks more natural.
Yeah.
I fixed the stars. They're actually procedural now.
Cool.
I just used the noise texture on the background.
Yeah, I mean, I think you can get like a pixel or two, like a couple pixels of depth of field back there, as well as some of the foreground, just a little bit. But I think that looks much better.
So yeah, basically, I use the background shader, the world shader, basically, and just put the noise depth of field on, or the noise texture on it, and then use a color ramp to make the noise white. So there you go. Nice. But what I still haven't done like Z-Pass or putting in volumetrics and stuff yet. I haven't gotten that far. But I think that was the main notes. I know you said something about the pumpkin, which I don't think I did, but I think everything else I hit. So.
Yeah, the pumpkin is just the edges. I love that you can. I love that the light, and I think you said it was in the shader. I love that we can see the edges because it really helps us define the outline of the face itself. But I would just tone them down a little bit because they are a little bright on the sides. Okay.
Oh, and I started messing with Desmondus' shaders. So I actually put his eye shader on finally, so he has eyeballs now. Cool. And I went ahead and changed the color of the cloak to be more of a purpley color because I wanted it to be different than his body to stand out a bit more.
Yeah.
Did the shader on the hat. And I think that's it.
Okay, cool. So structurally, I was kind of messing around with it a little bit here. So I think overall, it can get a little bit like the light areas can go a little bit brighter. I desaturated some of the reds on some of let's see, once we get these levels up, what I did was I took down the saturation just a little bit on the reds there. On these things coming out. I think that works well. And then I'm just trying to think. I'm just trying to create like a triangle area of like really light that leads us back into space, and this ramp up is working well. I think once we get back there, it's good. I would love to see, even at this scale, I would love to see some more specularity on Sir Desmondus Rotundus, like more, kind of a cool specs on the sides of them a little bit. Just because it really does help fill them in, helps give them shaping, helps the wings feel more leathery and weird and gross. And you talked about adding Z depth, totally great for some depth of field. Also getting some atmospherics in on these trees. I think we can pull a little bit of like a foggy haze back here too, and that will allow the dark points of the foreground to pop forward. Yeah, I think otherwise it's working out well. I think we could probably. Never mind. I was gonna say we might be able to go a little bit darker, like over in here, just to kind of focus this in, but I think that's okay. And then cat up top still looks good. Yeah, I think.
Do I need to put like more rim light on Desmondus or something so he pops more from?
Yeah,
Okay.
more rim light and make him. Yeah, like even though I just kind of universally made him brighter, what you want to do is you want to really, really feel it coming from, because the light is behind him. It is
right.
You know, kind of unquestionably behind him. I just lost all those things that I just did. Yep. And you know, if you kind of pull this up, what this does is it kind of brings up everything. But really, yeah, it's all about feeling this light behind him. Again, let's take a look at there were. I can picture it in my head, but I can't remember who did the specific spooky scene. Like you could see a lot of it with the other characters, like things like this type of rim light back behind them. It doesn't need to be quite that much, but like something like this, I really, you know, again, this is super strong, but like you really want to feel that light kind of coming in from behind. And
okay.
There's any other examples? I feel like there were a few. Yeah, I guess it was on this one too. Yeah, just like really feeling that rim light coming in from behind. And again, it's because the door is open, and that certainly helps. But yeah, similar feeling. So like, this is nice. The thing I really like about this is like the way that this light, the warm light, really stays kind of centered and pocketed in here. That allows us to just like really focus in on this one space. And this one it does it too, but it's a little bit more expansive. So that's why it almost makes me. That's why I want to kind of tone these down and really brighten up this area in the middle to really kind of give that focus, like you know, to really, because again, he's not that big on screen. He maybe takes up, you know, 5 to 10% of the screen real estate at most. But yeah, I think those would be my main focal points. And for now, the biggest things that I would work on would be getting his lighting to look more rim and more you know, more, basically let's try and pull some more mood out of it by light coming in from behind, a stronger rim, and then more specularity on the front side to feel that leathery goodness.
Okay.
All right.
Sounds good.
Cool. All right, y'all. Well, that is everything for today. Does anybody else have anything before we part ways? All right. Kat, Ashley, Ruby, you all have a wonderful day. Everyone else who's watching this recording, enjoy the rest of your Thursday, and I will see you all tomorrow. All right. Happy lighting, everybody.
See you later.
All right. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.